This video is sponsored by my favorite website creator, Squarespace, the best place to go when you want to get a domain or create a gorgeous website or an online store. Hello, it's already summer. Whatever happened to the first half of 2025? For me at least, it has shot past since I last did one of these like what's been going on videos back in February or January, I think. I remember in my last update video, I was so pleased with myself, saying that for once I'm unstressed, I'm not overworked, life has lately been like manageable. I also remember knocking on wood in that video to not attract any fury from the fortune gods. So, did it work? Is life still manageable? Am I still not overworked or stressed senseless? I wish it was so. Overworked, yes. Stressed out of my mind, I am afraid so, my friends. I'm sorry I blew it, like all my new calm and sustainable strategies and routines gone like poof. I kind of figured already at the start of this year that it would be the case though, considering the spring that I've been having. But I'm making it sound like it's all bad now, and that's so not the case. There are things I'm unhappy with, sure, but so many things that I'm quite, to be honest, overjoyed with. And I want to tell you about it. The drama and the dreams come true, all of that stuff. So let's start with the unhappy bits so we can end with the good stuff, shall we? Okay, the year started off quite tough with like a multitude of million different things to fix. First of all, doing my influencer work and recording videos and taking photos and all that, which is usually quite chill and manageable. But this year, on top of that full-time job, there were so many things to finalize with book 2, like the cover, the blurb text, reading and rereading the final manuscript, planning for press and marketing and planning a launch party and smaller event, visiting bookshops to like present the book to booksellers, which frankly is one of my favorite parts about being a novelist because, booksellers, are there nicer people than them? No, I don't think there are. So January and February were quite hectic just to get the book to print and like prepare for the publication in April. And yes, it was a bit too much for me, if I'm honest. First a 3-week flu all over Christmas to then like being completely thrown into this mayhem work-wise, it wasn't healthy. A lot of fun things, but too much. In March, when the book had gone to print and I had done a lot of the most urgent influencer work, I was so looking forward to calmer days because my head and my fingers and my heart and my soul have all been itching to get back to another manuscript. That is the manuscript that will, God's willing, become my 3rd novel. So I started working on the first draft in mid-autumn, and then I left it completely over Christmas and during January and half of February. So more than anything, I was extremely curious because when you get a long break from a text like this, you get to sit down and read it with fresh eyes, which is completely different from reading it back when you're like in the middle of a writing period. So I always leave my texts for like a month or 2 in between rounds to make sure that I get this fresh eyes effect. And I was so eager to open the document again, but turns out reading with fresh eyes and fresh brain was more difficult this time than previously. Simply, I think, because my mind has been so frazzled by like overworking in the beginning of the year in combination with being so nervous and having an excited brain from looking forward to the looming publication date in late April. So I couldn't find rest and calm enough to work on the text as intensely and as clear-headedly as I had hoped. I was like too up top frantic. I couldn't get like deep low and like focused to the extent that I was hoping. So fresh new opportunity this summer to work on the text in a more focused and undistracted way. Because me, nothing makes me happier than being, left alone in that room with a text document and tea, let's not forget. So yes, like I hinted to just now, another thing that I've been a bit unhappy with, my goddamn nerves. Jesus, the month leading up to publication was scary. Here I was, a veteran novelist with already a debut novel under my belt. Surely publishing your 2nd novel will be a walk in the park in comparison. Smoother, easier, more confident, less freaked out. Not so. Oh, not so at all. I found the 2nd novel publication process to be much more stressful than for my debut novel, simply because I'm more experienced. I don't have the comfort of the amateur's ignorance. I know everything that can go wrong and how hard it is to make things go right, like reviews, coverage on socials, magazines, newspaper, radio features, support from other authors, pre-order sales. All of these things are scary, especially considering, it's about your art, the one thing in life you're most passionate about. Like being judged like this, or even worse, ignored without getting any coverage or any sales. And worst of all, knowing that how well this book does, both in media but also in sales, will affect whether you get to publish your next book at all. I have not been well. Sleep disturbances and overthinking and, biting of nails. Poor David being stuck in the flat with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's lucky he doesn't have hair, because I'm sure he would have pulled it by now. I think now let's talk about the nicer side of the coin, all the things that have made me happy since winter. And first of all, hello, publication day, of course. What a Time to Be Alive came out on April 24th, and on that day, David and I threw a launch party on my publisher's office's rooftop with a view seriously over all of London. The offices are on the Thames, more or less, so it's like water, handsome tall buildings, and it feels like you're in a New York yuppie publishing movie from the 90s, which was also sort of my outfit inspiration for the evening. Honestly, how strange and magical is it to not only go to a book launch, but that the book that's being launched is your book that you wrote with your own knobbly fingers. And after all that hard work, those thousands of hours of like moving commas, then moving them back again, then the pre-publication nerves and the sleep disturbances and the bitten nails, and then finally the release of the launch. You get to drink too much champagne, get hugged by dozens of people, and being told how lovely your book is by everyone, because, well, there's a lot of goodwill in the room, not least because of the champagne, I'm guessing. So if you ever get a chance to go to a book launch, or indeed to throw one yourself, I highly recommend it. That was on a Thursday, and on the Friday we did a lot of posting on socials and other press things. And then on the Saturday, so 2 days after the actual publication day, David and I did our own publication tradition. I mean, can we call it a tradition now, since it has happened 3 times? OK Days hardback, OK Days paperback, and now What a Time to Be Alive hardback. So what we do is we walk around all over central London the whole day, going into all the bookshops to see it out on the shelves and to sign the copies that they have in the shop. Then we go to our favorite bar, we order a whole bottle of champagne, we plot and scheme how to take over the world, and just enjoy the insane moment of having a novel out in the world. Then the tradition is David gives me a piece of vintage jewelry. You know how I feel about vintage 80s and 90s jewelry, and this way, every time I wear one of these pieces, I remember when I got them, while drinking champagne in our favorite swanky bar, celebrating having written a goddamn novel. Quite special, no? And I'm definitely not hating this tradition, I can tell you that. Around publication, I also did other lovely events and wrote features for press. So shout out to my hardworking publicist Lizzie for getting me these gigs. It's still wild to me that I get to be on stage or in newspapers and magazines or on the radio, podcast, not to mention being so well taken care of by the book community on Instagram, simply because I wrote a novel. And one of the reasons I get to do all these things is because other authors who are much more established in this world of literature than I am have read and said kind things about my work. That has helped me so much in getting the industry and press to notice me, since I don't have any creative writing education and I knew no one in the industry before I started writing. So booksellers, book Instagrammers, and other novelists, the kindest and most supportive people, seriously. I owe so much thanks and gratitude that they are, so generous and encouraging. Also happy about, 1 week after publication day, it was my birthday. 2 weeks after that, David's birthday. We took it easy this year, considering we just had organized the launch party, just the 2 of us eating and drinking and walking around and being lazy and utterly tired, but very happy. But another thing completely unrelated to birthdays and book celebrations, this spring I very much had the aim of taking care of my health, making it a priority. And yes, success. The routine blood tests and dental hygiene and all those appointments, plus looking over my diet a bit extra and getting into a solid weekly workout routine, and above all, saying no to things. Getting these offers to write features and be interviewed or to do events, it's fantastic. And I feel awful and ungrateful for turning some of these opportunities down, but I knew I had to for my health. I didn't want to go into the summer like so spent and so unhealthy and worn out that I couldn't feel excited about, first of all, going to Sweden for a summer holiday, and second, like being back to London to work on that third novel. I mean, the manuscript document is screaming at me like all the time, like right now, it's screaming for me to get over there and do some work. But before I do that, another thing I'm happy about, money. Again, let me knock on wood here, but this spring has been quite solid. We haven't had to worry, even though our mortgage went up so massively last year because of interest rates changing, because here you are, supporting mine and David's bank balance with every click. You are the only reason we can live like this as full-time creatives in London. It seems almost impossible, but somehow it is possible, and that's on you. So very, very happy about that, about you. Thank you. I mean, I can't say that enough. Thank you for watching and for buying my books and for, commenting something kind or just being, in general, the best community a creative can ask for. Magical, this thing that we've got going on. Very, very pleased about it. Now, do you want to create a stunning website or launch your own blog? Squarespace has you covered with its latest innovations. First up, let's talk about their new design intelligence. Combining 20 years of design expertise with cutting-edge AI, this tool helps you unlock your creative potential, building a personalized, one-of-a-kind website that fits your needs. Squarespace also makes running an online store easier with Squarespace Payments. Onboarding is fast and you can start accepting payments in just a few minutes. Plus, it supports various popular payment options like Klarna, Apple Pay, Afterpay and others, giving your customers payment flexibility. And for seamless social media integration, Squarespace allows you to connect your social media accounts in just a few clicks, whether you're embedding a feed or syncing your products directly to Instagram or Facebook. It's an effortless way to expand your reach and keep everything in sync. So what are you waiting for? Go get your free trial today at squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/chillimustard to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you so much for watching today and for the kindness throughout this, whole spring. And I will see you very, very soon, I hope, and have a few lovely summer days until then. Okay, bye bye and trevlig sommar!